Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am the moderator for this conference. Welcome to the conference call of Gujarat Mineral Development Corporation Limited, arranged by Concept Investor Relations to discuss its Q1 FY2024. We have with us today Shri Roopwant Singh, IAS Managing Director, Shri L. Kulshrestha, Chief General Manager and Chief Financial Officer, Shri H.K. Joshi, Senior General Manager, Technical, Shri A.K. Makadia, Senior General Manager, Technical, Shri R.K. Das, General Manager, Marketing and Sales, Shri Swagat Ray, General Manager, Project Planning and Development, Shri A.K. Iyer, General Manager, Accounts, Shri J.N. Dave, General Manager, Power, Shri P.R. Shah, General Manager, Geology, Shri A.K. Sharma, Advisor, Cement, and Shri Joel Evans, Company Secretary. At this moment, all participants are in the listen-only mode. Later, we will conduct a question and answer session. At that time, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Please note, this conference is being recorded. I would now like to hand over the floor to Shri Roopwant Singh, Chairman and Managing Director. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Gaurav. So, we welcome all our friends to this analyst call, and we look towards fruitful and engaging discussion today. This meet is after almost a gap of 6 months. So there are issues to share, and you have questions to ask. Thank you so much. We may begin. Gaurav, please begin.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to withdraw yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Our first question is from the line of Pritesh Chheda from Lucky Investment Managers. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, sir. Sir, can you give some color on the realizations in the lignite side in quarter 1 this year, quarter 4 last year, if you could end the trend here?
So, any other question?
My second question is, what kind of volumes now do you expect in lignite for FY24?
Okay. Can I have your name, please?
My name is Pritesh. I'm from Lucky Investment.
Pritesh, I would request Mr. Das to take the question on realizations from lignite.
Hi Pritesh, this is R.K. Das.
Hello, sir.
Marketing and sales. And answering your first question, that the realization for the quarter 1 is close to 3,200. And earlier it was, during last year it was around 4,000. And regarding the volume, we are trying to surpass the last year's production. So we are targeting around 8 million metric tons for this year.
The realization for quarter 4?
The realization for quarter 4 was close to 4,000.
Okay. The one more question is, sir, on the volume side, if I recall, last year we were looking at 8 and was supposed to then go to about 10 million ton. I understand that last year there were rains and some mine issues for which the volume never reached 8. But this year's 8 million ton number, so what happens to that 10 million ton 10 million ton guided or thoughtful number that you had?
So actually we are facing certain technical issue at one of our major projects in South Gujarat. And another project at South Gujarat is on the verge of completion. So those are the challenges. So nevertheless, we are targeting it, and we are pretty confident that we can achieve this 8 million target this year.
Okay. Done, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before we take our next question, a reminder to all participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Our next question is from the last line of Harsh Vasa from SBI Cap Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Thank you for providing me the opportunity. So actually, I wanted to know the story regarding the rare earth material. So when do you expect the unlocking of that?
Okay. Harsh, any other question?
And secondly, so you were bidding for the coal mine for Gujarat, like where there is a reserve of around 1,700 million tons, and you're going to incur like around 5,000 crores on the capex part. So any development on that side?
Okay. So I'll answer the second question first. The coal mines are not in Gujarat, they're in Orissa, and GMDC has already secured these 2 blocks, and capex of 5,000 will be over a lifetime period of the mine. Yes, a significant amount would be going upfront, and GMDC now is in active stage of operationalizing these mines. For that, studies, permissions, and organizational setup is being put up on fast track. And for the RE story, we will let you know as we get some clearance, and as it's the regulated sector, we will let you know at the appropriate time ourselves. Kindly bear with us.
Okay, sir. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to all participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Our next question is from the line of Dipen Shah, who's an investor. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you for the opportunity. I had a couple of questions. Firstly, on the overall capex which you have planned for the current year as well as the next year. I understand rare minerals capex also will be incurred. So if any ballpark figure is there, then you can give us that number. And the second number is, as far as the coal mine is concerned, what is the capacity of the coal mine, and when do you expect revenues to start accruing to GMDC? Thank you.
Okay, I missed your name. Can you have a name, please?
Dipen Shah.
Thank you, Dipen. So I'll take the second question first. Operationalization, we have a 4.5-year timeline in which we have to operationalize both these blocks. One is in Angul district and one is in Sundargarh district. Their accumulated annual capacity is significantly large. It is in the range of 21 to 23 million tons, depending on our downstream market tie-up that we do. And as I had answered in the previous question, we are going to be we are in the advanced stages of operationalizing. So the entire effort of the top management is to crunch this 4.5-year timeline to as short as possible.
Okay.
And for the lignite, I would request Mr. Swagat Ray to take that question. Could you repeat the question on lignite, please?
I just wanted to understand what's the kind of capex you are likely to incur on the lignite business, as well as, if at all, any on the rare earth minerals.
Okay. Rare earth, we will recuse ourselves from answering, but for lignite, Mr. Sagatri will give you a very good answer. Hello, Dipan.
Yeah, thank you.
For lignite operation in this financial year, particularly in FY24, we have major capex expenditure towards land acquisition. And land acquisition will be done in existing lignite projects, particularly in Bhavnagar, and for the other new projects in such that is Lakhpat as well as in Bharuch, that is Valley lignite project. So we have earmarked 800 crore rupees for this fiscal year for the new lignite project land acquisition and around 650 crore rupees for the existing lignite project in Bhavnagar.
Okay. And sir, one last question. What should be the cash balance with the company currently as in June?
So I request Mr. Kulshesh to answer that question.
At present, we are having 2,000 cash balance, 2,000 crore.
Okay. Thank you very much and all the very best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Our next question is from the line of Nalin Shah from NVS Brokerage. Please go ahead.
Hello. At the outset, let me congratulate the management for continuing to maintain the good, the progress on the results, Q1 results. My questions are a couple of questions. One is that since the lignite prices have taken a little beating in the realization, so our profitability could be little under pressure compared to the previous year. So how do you propose to, the maintain or better that profitability? If you can throw some light on, the last year we had discussed about that you are ready for a bauxite as a major material, and that, some contribution in the current year, how that is going to span out. If we can get some idea what are the volumes and what are the pricing and what kind of a profitability and margins we maintain from that would be ideal. Secondly, you mentioned about that, coal mines, you are trying to cut down the timelines from 4.5 years to as early as possible. But if you could throw some idea that internally what is the target, whether it is from the financial year 24-25 or 25-26, or what is the ideal kind of a thing, and on the overall performance of the company going forward in the current year.
Okay, so I'll begin with answering your last question for the coal mines. It is contingent on two factors. One is a number of studies have to be done. Number two, we still have to get a lot of regulatory approvals. These are the two proximate things, and our capacity play, how fast we ramp up, will depend on our long-term offtake agreements. So all these things are work in progress.
Okay.
And we shall be able to answer this, how much the timeline would be crunched in 2 to 3 quarters from now, where we expect to have a lot of tasks covered under our belt.
Okay.
For lignite pricing, I would request Mr. Das to give you a view on the pricing, and Mrs. Anupama Iyer to give you an idea on the kind of profitability we'll be looking at. But the broad strategy of the organization is we are facing challenges on two sides. One is the declining price of our rival material, that is imported coal, and serious operational issues at slower mines restricting our capacity. So first is beyond our control. So we will keep on correcting our prices but focus on offtake. And at the same time, since the market is slightly softened, we would work on expanding our, restoring our capacity to what it was 1.5 to 2 years ago. So I hand over the phone to Mr. Das to give you a flavor of a few numbers.
Okay.
To Mrs. Iyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Naveen.
Hi.
As mentioned by MD sir, actually, the imported coal prices have fallen down and it is correcting very fast. But I believe that during last, right from June till time, the CNA prices are fairly stable. So in that case, so it is a presumption that the prices will not fall down further. Nevertheless, we used to supply in Gujarat market at a subsidy with respect to the prices, landed prices of imported coal being the PSU. So in that case, if there will be any corrections, they are bound to take corrections.
Correct.
That will be a reality. And at the same time, during last few days, we have taken certain corrections. And if required, then more corrections can be undertaken on individual project basis or on overall GMDCs. I'm to say that in all projects or in individual projects.
Correct. Okay, Ji.
Anupama, can you give a flavor?
Hi, Naveen.
Hi.
Yeah, as we told, if we have to take the price correction, no doubt profit compared to last year will be under pressure. But then also we'll try to make it by expanding our capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually depends on how the market behaves. If the price of imported coal comes down, definitely we have to take the correction, and accordingly profit will be, means our margin will shrink accordingly.
Okay, but are we in a position to balance it out with the bauxite and maybe some other minerals which you might have in mind?
Yeah, of course, there is a plan to ramp up this bauxite business because during last year the production was 2.54 lakh metric ton, and this year we are targeting to multiply it at least 2 times from this last year's production.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, we are targeting to actually produce and sell more than 5 lakh metric tons of bauxite this year. That's an aggressive plan indeed, but again, to be very realistic, actually the contribution of bauxite sale to the revenue is that is in single digit figure. So in that case, that will not significantly add to our revenues in this year.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question is from the line of Shashank Kanodia from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. So firstly, on realizations. So do you expect realizations for the full year to, be below 3,000 rupees to a ton? Is my first question. Given the fact that you alluded to this fact that they are on the downward trajectory.
Yes. Any other question, please?
Yeah. Secondly, sir, on the capex part, so you alluded to this fact that we will be spending 1450 crores for lignite, but I think we are also due to spend something on the power plants as well as coal mining in Odisha. So in sum total, what will be the total capex outlay? And thirdly, sir, the government has recently passed this mines and mineral bill, right, which opens rare earth mining to the private operators as well. So in a way, that kinds of, takes away exclusivity. So in a way, is it something which is negative that we perceive?
So I'll start with your second question, the capex plan. GMDC in this financial year has on table its most ambitious and aggressive capex plan ever. And this is in the range of 2,900 crores. Out of this, a significant amount is going towards ramping up capacity in our existing projects, say Bhavnagar. Then ramping up capacity in our existing project, Tarkeshwar. Then further to take care of new mines and most prominently Lakhpat and Walia, which have recently been granted to us. Further, there is a 300 crore capex on putting the ATPS thermal plant, power plant back on track. And finally, there is 400 crore capex, approximately 400 crore capex to put the Orissa project on track. So this is the most ambitious capex plan. As far as realizations, I would again request Mr. Rajat Das to give you a flavor. Yes, it is a very complicated question to answer, and we don't know how the future unfolds, but we have certain scenarios in mind. Mr. Das, if you could like to answer this.
Hi. It will be quite speculative and premature to actually predict whether this realization will go below 3,000 or not. But again, the international coal prices are quite volatile and the prices are quite dynamic. But as I said earlier that ever since June 2023, the CNF prices are stable. And generally the demand used to be subdued during monsoon period, here and internationally. So in that case, I believe that the demand will be pushed during subsequent quarters. And the prices there will be a upward rise in the prices, and I believe that the prices of international coal is at its rock bottom. So in that case, in my personal capacity, I believe that the realization will remain close to 3,000. But again, it will be quite difficult and speculative to answer in a very specific and objective manner.
And I'd like to answer on the recent amendment. Well, it's a more broad-based amendment covering critical minerals, and it is a welcome move to take care of the new economy and the issues that the nation is going to face. So it's a wonderful development. And as far as the GMDC play is concerned, so our play is in the minerals, which are slightly different from the minerals being covered there. But then again, more specifics as we are in a better position to share with you.
Just one thing, sir. On the lithium side, so we got in India 2 reserves, one in J&K and second Rajasthan. So are we actively looking at those, exploiting those, or this is something not there on the table for us?
So GMDC has adopted an open mind policy towards exploring business opportunities in adjacencies. That means what it does well. So we have moved out from lignite, moved beyond lignite to coal, and we are in the metal space also. And if this resource gets available in the market, and we will definitely be looking at examining each and every opportunity on the table in the market.
Right.
And we have a very thorough system of internal and external checks before we take a plunge. So I can assure you, we will be looking at all opportunities that come up.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Siddhant Shah from Corporate Database. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, hello. Am I audible?
Yes, Siddhant.
Yeah. Thank you for taking my question, sir. I had a couple of questions. One is like you mentioned that you are going to be spending 300 crores on the thermal power station. So just wanted to know by when can we expect a turnaround in that? That is one. The other was, sorry, I missed the opening remarks, so I don't know if you shared that. Any volume guidance for the lignite, since we were targeting 10 million tons for last year, but we fell short and we were trying to make that up this year. So any lignite volume numbers for this year? And also, like somebody previously mentioned about bauxite, we also had a lot of limestone and some of the other materials. So, and broadly, you had given a guidance previously that we are looking to have at least 50% of our revenues coming from non-lignite sources. So just wanted an overall view, like how are we progressing on that front, and any possible revenues from these other sources this year, since, of course, lignite realizations are under pressure and we are working on coal mines. But however, these other minerals that we have, can we expect anything from there? So these were the few questions. And just lastly, a little bit on the capital allocation policy, since Gujarat government has come out with a policy mandating 30% of PAT or 5% of net worth as dividends. So just in terms of broad capital allocation policy at the company level, since we have 2,000 crores of cash on books and we are expecting to do a 2,900 crore capex. So just a broad, if you can just share some color on how we are planning to, use our cash reserves, that would be great. Thank you.
Siddhant, I think in the previous answer, I gave a very detailed answer on how we are planning to use our cash reserves. So for everybody's benefit, I would not repeat it. But what I would like to say is, again, the government of Gujarat's new dividend policy is very visionary for a company which is on a growth path and which is exploring newer avenues like us. Because we are at the moment a debt-free company, and to achieve our growth, we would need to take on debt and other issues. And when we have a very mature and robust dividend policy, like the one enunciated by the government of Gujarat, we will be able to fulfill on those parameters. Second, your third question was on limestone. I would request Mr. Arun Sharma, who has been spearheading this initiative. He will explain to you in greater detail. And I wish you had glanced through yesterday's business dailies. Over to Mr. Sharma.
Hi, Siddhant.
Hi.
Regarding limestone, what our MD sir has told, we have been working for last 1 year, and we have done a lot of homework. We have identified our deposits. We have done a feasibility report. And yesterday we have launched a nationwide UI for one of the projects, wherein we are looking for the partners and how we can develop this limestone deposit. I can only tell you that deposit has a potential, and that potential would be one of the largest in the country at one particular location. So we are very serious on that. We have done our homework. We are in the market, and we are looking for the partners and a strategic alliance, how to utilize this limestone. I think within 3 to 6 months, in 1 or 2 quarters, we'll have a clarity, and then we will explore further and we'll let you know. Thank you.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So, and for the question on 300 crore capex, for which we will be getting a pass-through from the regulatory authorities, and for which we shall be raising debt also. I would request our General Manager Power, Mr. Janardhan Dave, give you a flavor of the efforts that are underway and by what time it should be possible.
Sure.
Yeah. Hi, Siddhant.
Hi.
For the capex infusion at power plant, we have already identified the 5 packages for the execution of this capex, and for that, our RFP are online, and one of the RFP, like the PMC, we are in final stage, and in the last quarter, 50% of the capex will be utilized, and remaining will be utilized in the first quarter of next year.
Okay. So got it. So the improvements will be basically visible only basically towards the end of FY25?
In second quarter.
Between 24 and 25.
Okay. Got it.
So, Siddhant, the issue is most of these are proprietary items, and most of these suppliers are not in India, and it is a seller's market, and they have an extremely large lead time. So that is where we would have liked to compress this entire thing into a very short time, but it is going to take some time.
Got it. Okay.
In mobilizing the spares and whatever is required there.
Got it. Just needed one clarification, sir. You told that the cash and the equivalent balance is currently around 2,000 crores. I remember in the previous call you had mentioned that it was around 2,500 crores. So just wanted to know that have we deployed any capex this year, and what would be the FY23 capex that we would have had done?
So, Mr. Kulshresht, kindly take this question on the cash available.
We have budgeted some amount for Odisha 2 projects, that is Baitarani West and Bura Pahar. That is around 350 crores. Remaining amount we are incurring for land development and civil works.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. And so just one request, if you could just, keep the con calls after every result, that would be great, since, we are having calls very abruptly or intermittently. It would be great to have calls. If you could, have a call after every result, it would be a good chain to follow.
Siddhant, point validly noted. 2 errors on our side. We didn't meet the last time, and this time also we did not give you a lead time. Apologies for that. This will be taken care of.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Apologies. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. We have a follow-up question from the line of Shashank Kanodia from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. If you can please share the volume numbers for this quarter in terms of lignite sales and the corresponding figures for quarter-on-quarter and Y-by basis.
Volume numbers and Shashank?
Yeah, and the corresponding numbers, sir, for Q1 FY23 and Q4 FY23.
Okay. So, who would like, Mr. Das, why don't you take this question? Volume numbers compared to previous quarters and previous financial years.
The lignite production during corresponding quarter of 2022-23 was 25 lakh metric tons, and this time it is 19.2. And during this time it is actually this time it is 88.
Can I interfere? Shashank, could you rephrase the question once again?
Yes, I wanted the volume numbers, lignite sales volume for this quarter, that is Q1 FY24, and corresponding numbers for Y-on-Y and quarter-on-quarter comparison.
Okay, so I would request Mr. Kulshresht to take this call.
As far as the total quantity is concerned, from Matanamad, that is production was 9.82 lakh in Q1. Last year it was 10.04 lakh metric tons. And in case of Rajpadi, who's on value also?
I will need some total for all mines as a company level.
Total is 18.28 lakh metric ton as against 25 lakh metric ton in previous year in same quarter.
Right. So 19.2 lakh tons of sales volume versus 25 lakh tons last year, right?
28 lakh tons as against 25 lakh metric ton in previous year's Q1.
So the increase of approximately 27%. Decrease. Sorry.
Right. And sir, does rain, there were some incessant rains in Gujarat, right? And there were some coastal disruptions as well. So did it impact us for the month of July?
Yes, it did. And I would request Mr. H.K. Joshi to take this call. For the month of July, Mr. Joshi, how it impacted and how heavy the rains were.
Actually, in July, we have received almost 40% more rain than last year.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Mr. Joshi, we can hear you.
This year we have a rain in July 40% more than last year. So it impacted our lignite production.
And may I add, it impacted our generation from our wind turbines also because of severe cyclonic disturbances.
Right. Right. And sir, one small request, sir. You used to share these volume numbers and power generation units in your press releases. I think this time it was missing. So if you could please recontinue that practice, please.
Okay, I don't know how this has happened, but we can share it with you now. Mr. Kulshish, would you like to give numbers for the thermal, wind, predominantly, both these?
Yes. In Q1, we have generated 140 million units as against 235 million units in last year, in same quarter. And as far as wind project, our generation was 105 million units as against 118 million units in last year. As far as solar, we have generated 1.8 million units as against 1.96 million units in Q1 of last year.
Right. And sir, lastly, you have charted out this very aggressive capex plan. So what is the IRR or the payback period that the management keeps in mind while, putting out such capex numbers? So it's like 5 years, 4 years, you wish to, get back this amount in terms of profitability. How do you look at it?
Shashank, each project and sub-project has different internal rates of return. Well, I can talk about the prominent ones. The rate of return for existing projects is extremely promising. Some are in the range of 30, some are in the range of 40%. For the coal projects, they are in excess of 20%. Since that is a new territory for us, we have taken conservative numbers. For our new projects, lignite projects, so those numbers again are in excess of 30%. So we are very comfortable. A lot of thought and diligence has gone into it, and being a mining company, capex will ensure growth. Without capex, we will start floundering.
Right. So the minimum threshold, what I gather, is 20% for us, right? Before commencing upon any capex plans.
So at the moment, we don't look at opportunities which are below 15%, and these the projects where we have made capex provision, they are fairly comfortable. They are comfortably above that.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Our next question is from the line of Rahil Shah from Crown Capital. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello. Hi, sir. Good evening. So, you've given a volume target for this year and everything. So, based on all this capex and the new projects coming up, so what can one expect in terms of revenue growth, and especially what are your expectations for EBITDA margins for this year?
Well, if we told you that, then we'll be in trouble. But I would request Mrs. Anupama Iyer to give you a flavor on volumes, revenue, and the kind of comfortable EBITDA we should be in the range of.
Yeah, regarding the EBITDA, we hope to maintain the EBITDA margins of around 30% on our side business. And volume, by expanding the volume, we hope we'll be able to achieve turnover of last year, around 3,500.
For the margins, you said 30%, correct? That was like overall for the company or just?
Yeah.
For lignite business.
Yeah, for overall company. As a company as a whole, 30% margin will be able to maintain.
Right. Okay, no problem. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you. A reminder to all participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our question and answer session. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Thank you so much. We have said what we had to say about volumes, margins, and our core plans. In fact, we have received very important feedback on how we need to continuously keep on engaging with you. Yes, we will continue the process of meeting every quarter, and yes, we will not convene these conferences at a short notice. Point taken. Thank you so much for your interest.
Thank you all for being part of this conference call. If you need any further information or clarification, please email gaurav.g@conceptpr.com. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your conference for today. Thank you for using Chorus Call conferencing services. You may now disconnect your lines. Thank you and have a pleasant day.